the Martial Arts Movie Podcast.
I threw that shit before I walked in the room.
Featuring drunken Thai boxer, Will.
Too bad you will die.
The also drunken wrestler, Mark.
I said I don't want trouble.
And drunken karate master, Zero.
You've lost your balls.
And now,
Call. I know Kung Fu. You know, baby.
Fists of Fail.
Zero, you look a lot closer today. Is the camera eating you up?
Maybe I'm not Zero. Who am I? Maybe I'm somebody else.
You're a lot warmer today. Like the color tones in your skin is a lot warmer. That's because you got a new camera, right?
New camera, yeah. Hey, we're upgrading our systems. Well, I am because I got complaints about my camera just showing too much of my room. And when I was doing post work on the video, it was just a chore because, not a good camera. But hey, look at what we're doing for this podcast.
Yeah. Yep. You can see exactly what we look like if you listen to us on our podcast, or you can just follow us on YouTube whenever we actually get around to uploading more.
But we've been uploading videos. You've been doing the ones I've been sending you, so they're it's coming out slowly. It's not easy to do like a daily video release.
Things are always hard when you have an actual full-time job on the side too. But hey, we're not talking about our hectic lives outside of this podcast. We're here to talk about is it Jackie Chan My Stunts? Yes and no. No, today we are talking about Who Am I? I'm Will. We're talking about Who Am I? Jackie Chan's 1998 film. A movie that was requested by one of our patrons, Kofax. Kropotkin. Sorry if I butchered that name. But yeah, thank you for the shout out. Thank you for the recommend, and also thank you for being a patron. And yeah, stepping a little bit away from the Valentine's theme month, which might have been a blessing because we're kind of running out of ideas for February.
I had more love themed movies I wanted to talk about, but hey, Patreon comes first. That's
true. We value our patrons, and I don't know, Zero. Do you value this movie? Do you have any? See what I did there? What a wonderful transition. Do you have fond memories of this movie in any ways before the recording of this episode?
Right. Yeah. So again, mid to late 90s Jackie, that was peak Jackie Chan for me, because this is when the influx of his movies started to get imported, because after the success of Rumble in the Bronx and then Rush Hour, this is like we're starting to get more of his films. And Who Am I came out. I remember my cousin having it on VHS. He was a really big Jackie Chan fan as well, and I have fond memories of watching it with him because we loved The Last Fight, which I think universally everybody does, but I don't remember anything else from the movie in terms of me remembering that watching experience.
Okay, that's fair. I think I'm on the same boat as you. I've seen this movie probably a couple times too. I mean, I also got like my bootleg versions of this movie as a kid growing up. It's just, on VCD, if anyone out there still remembers VCD, when they would come out, and I'd watch it a couple times, and I just remember not remembering this movie. The end is essentially where everything happens. It's the part that everyone talks about if they even remember anything about the movie whatsoever. But boy, I think 90% of the movie is very forgettable. And I feel like even though like I watched it almost 3 times for preparation for this movie, and then I watched My Stunts, I realized like how blasé the movie is. Like when you don't talk, we're not talking about it within the context of The Last Fight and the final stunt of the movie. So yeah, it's always funny how like we're like, oh, remember Jackie Chan's Who Am I? That fight was amazing, and then the rest of the movie is
the rest of the movie. Yeah. It's a shame because it's not it's not a bad story in terms of being like filled with plot holes or just being incomprehensible. We've spoken about lots of those movies before. This is actually extremely straightforward. You know, Jackie Chan is some sort of special ops. He conks his head on a coconut, loses his memory, and he's trying to figure out, who am I?
Yep. And his name is also Who Am I?
It's weird, you know. They that I thought that was kind of cute. His name is technically Who Am I throughout the course of the film, and people call him that. But in a sort of, I guess, military debriefing scene, they talk about these missing guys, and they literally call him Jackie Chan, and Jackie Chan is on his label under his picture. I was like, no, why did you do that?
They shouldn't have done that. Yeah. I think that's a big misstep. Like, it's okay if we have the character be a complete mystery throughout the whole film. So, all right, I in preparation for today's episode, I watched the original cut. According to what they say online, the U.S. version cut out like roughly 10 minutes of material from the movie. I think one of them was the parts of the opening scene, and then the scene that mentions his name. I think that's better. Like, you kind of want to leave it as a mystery. Like, you never, throughout the whole movie, you never find out what Jackie's real name is, and I think that's fine. But it's also kind of silly
because they tell you, but he never finds out.
Oh yeah. I mean, like, they don't even tell the audience in the cut.
Exactly.
Is what I meant. Yeah. That would have been superior viewing experience in my opinion, because oh boy, that debriefing scene, the briefing scene with the CIA. Could you tell that those people were ADR'd? Because I could.
Well, there's a lot of ADR in this movie. It's kind of strange because it was shot in English, but then when Jackie first wakes up in South Africa, I don't know exactly what part he's in.
Namibia, I think.
Yeah,
Namibia. I'm not a geography person. Canada's right next to Iceland. Yeah, something like that, right? That's as much as I know.
Right. Well, he's speaking in Cantonese first, and then he starts speaking in English. And every now and then, like, I think he throws it in because I hear like something different. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's funny because when Jackie, oh boy, this is gonna sound really mean. Jackie, like, he gets saved by the natives, and then he's just like, he doesn't remember anything. So like, everyone's speaking their native tongue, and he's just like, "You speak English?" It's like, do you? I kind of wish that he stuck with Chinese, because, like, you start with the Chinese. I'm like, just continue with the Chinese. I don't know. The movie is definitely catered towards an international audience. Like, this is that peak era where it's like Rush Hour and Gorgeous, like trying to branch out a little bit, like dipping their toes a little bit into the foreign markets. So, Mr. Nice Guy, prime example of like another movie that Jackie did. That's like primarily like trying to reach out of Hong Kong. So yeah, the movie has a lot of international casting, and the acting's not always stellar. Some of the performances the performers are just people that Jackie just picked up. I think the one who played the quote unquote reporter was just some girl interviewing Jackie, and he's just like, okay, you just join the set.
Yeah, Michelle Ferrer.
Yeah,
plays the reporter / something else, if you don't want spoilers.
Yeah. But
she definitely comes out as maybe the most egregious in terms of, and then it's kind of a balance between her and the character Yuki, but Yuki is a little more bubbly, so you can kind of forgive her. I don't know. I thought Jackie actually did pretty well with his English, minus the his obvious thick accent.
Yeah.
I think I preferred this over some of his other English attempts in other movies.
Yeah. Sometimes they give Jackie words that are too difficult for him to pronounce, and I just kind of want the dialogue to be trimmed down or like simplified for him. I think it would have made more sense. It's not like when he goes on Conan and he's roasting Conan. So okay. Enough of that said. The story you mentioned is pretty straightforward. I somewhat agree and somewhat think it's like from a 1,000 mile like point of view, it's like, yes, it is, but the movie kind of like takes some really weird turns at times, or like they tell the story in the weirdest way. Like, yeah, like I understand the basic concept, but I don't know, certain elements of it I feel kind of like cartoony and like out of place.
Well, I think everything that's going on with the scientists and
the scientists,
the transferring of money, all that stuff, it's weird. There's a huge, it's not even an action scene, an explosion scene where they blow up a power plant, and it goes on for way too long. And the whole time I was just wondering, like, what does this have to do with anything? It's because there is a story point that in Africa they mine some sort of like mineral
meteorite
rock that can turn a machine gun into a rocket launcher. That's like the analogy that they made.
Yeah, and then I mean this all like pointless, right? Like this is just pointless material for the sake of the plot, but like it's in the movie and they explain it all, and then towards the end it's like it turns into like a money laundering thing, or like the villain's trying to steal money, and you're like, wait, what does that have to do with the meteorite? I mean, it's kind of related.
There is a bad guy who comes in, an extra bad guy who comes in later. He wants to buy, I guess, the information about that meteorite or that rock from the original bad guy, and he's transferring money to him. Yeah, that's what it is.
I still find that really bizarre, and
well, that stuff goes on for too long. Yeah, we are literally in real time while they're making a money transfer, and it's god awful. I'm like, why are we watching this in real time?
Oh, remember the song they had about friendship? No. The villains are at odds with one another. They're arguing, just like bickering. Then they rekindle their friendship by having a friendship song. This is a movie for like teenagers and adults. So yeah, the movie has like this cartoony vibe to it that like happens every once in a while. We can talk about that during the action segment, but there's one particular moment halfway through the movie when Jackie's running away from the villains and just like people just hoisting pianos on levers.
that became so stereotypical. I don't know where that originally started from, but I know that's a thing that gets parodied a lot, because I kept on thinking of Wayne's World 2. The two guys are carrying glass back and forth. They're like, what are you doing? They're like, well, we just need to keep on carrying this glass back and forth. And then eventually it comes back around.
Yeah, it's exactly that. And whenever you watch a movie, there's that one mother who just happens to drop her baby, and the baby's like in line of fire, and it's like, and she goes, my baby. There's like a literal scene with that, but with a dog, and you can actually see you can see like the wheels turning in the writer's room. Like, yes, we'll put the dog in there, and we got to put them in danger. That Jackie needs to get in the way and save the day. All right, well, before we go into all the like literal details of the movie, let's talk about the elephant in the room, which is the drama. The controversy behind this movie, which is okay, so for those who don't know anything about the making of this movie, that's why we have this documentary that's out there that Jackie produced in the late 90s, like roughly around the time that this movie was released, called Jackie Chan, My Stunts, which is, I think it's like necessary pairing with this movie if you want to know anything about the making of this film. Outside of like the end credits, but you can see like some behind the scenes stuff of this movie. You see a lot more of it in My Stunts. Now, during the making of that documentary, they said some things about Ron Smorenberg that like he used, Ron.
He's one of the final two fighters that Jackie fights.
Yes.
In the finale.
Yeah, and we'll talk about this a lot more in detail. But like, Ron and Kwan Young are the two fighters who go against Jackie at the end. So, the documentary puts Ron on blast. They say that he's very inexperienced. He doesn't know how to hit his marks or match Jackie's rhythm, his timing, his pacing, his spacing, all those things. And Ron actually replied to this 24 years after the fact, and said that like some of that's a little bit horseshit. So yeah, there's like Ron actually like in defense of like himself, like I mean right now he's it's been 24 years, so he's been a more accomplished action choreographer, but the whole documentary did kind of taint his career. And mind you, this was his first film thing, I think. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, what he said, in his interview with Viking Samurai, which I highly recommend everyone check out, Viking Samurai's interview with Ron Smortenberg. But yeah, during that interview, he mentioned he didn't really have much experience whatsoever, in filming, but he always action film, but he wanted to break out into the industry, and this was like his breakout role. Like this is his opportunity of a lifetime. So it's granted, like he should be inexperienced. It's should be given to him that like he doesn't know anything. We should call him some slack. But the documentary put him in such a bad light that it kind of like ruined things for him. But at the same time, with all those things said, and I'm trying to be very open to everything that Ron's mentioned. And be in defense of him. I do see what Jackie and what the documentary is talking about in terms of like the inexperienced thing. But yeah, it's excusable, but like you can definitely see that like Ron doesn't always hit those marks exactly the way that a more experienced action performer would have. I don't know, Zero, did you happen to catch that as well?
Yeah, I mean, I side a little more towards his end because, Jackie Chan made that documentary. It's not like somebody else did. So they could very easily edit it so that, they show those faces of frustration that Jackie has on top of Ron missing his marks. Those could be two completely separate instances, right? Yeah. And that's how they decided to frame it. And yeah, it's a shame. I remember watching that My Stunts, and I always had this notion of Jackie in my mind that he's so lovable and easy to get along with and so personable. And then I remember seeing that and I was like, that's a little strange. That doesn't seem in line with his personality. But then again, I don't know him personally, but from the persona that he gave off, I didn't think that was accurate. And that always kind of stuck in the back of my head just a little bit. And then after kind of seeing all this stuff happen and then watching those interviews, it was just it's a shame to realize that yes, he was inexperienced and them calling it out, that's perfectly fine, but to really put him on blast like that on that documentary to promote Jackie more, but to use him as almost like a stepping stone, like, hey, look at the Jackie Chan stunt team. You can't hang with us. Look at this guy. We brought him in. He's not good enough for us. And it's a shame to hear him talk about how, no one wanted to work with him because he was that guy from My Stunts. And he really, really just needed to persist and keep on going and keep on doing it so he could finally get work in the industry again.
Yeah. I'll definitely include the link to that interview in the show notes for anyone who's interested. Because Kofax, if you're listening, I know that you amongst a lot of people who watched Who Am I and the Jackie Chan My Stunts documentary are under the impression that Ron fucked up royally. He didn't know what he was doing. He was inadequate and whatnot. Maybe just inexperienced. But I think that interview is a necessary watch, and I think that it's important to get that out there because unfortunately parts of Jackie Chan My Stunts is fake news. It's a biased journalism is what it is. It's Jackie Chan produced it. He's basically he drove the direction of that documentary. So unfortunately someone had to be thrown under the bus. According to Ron, if it wasn't him, it was going to be Gary Daniels. Can you imagine that? Instead in City Hunter? It was City Hunter, right?
Yeah, City Hunter.
I don't know, imagine a documentary on City Hunter. It's Gary Daniels did not know how to throw a Hadouken properly.
Yeah. Well, again, I think people should watch it, both sides come to their own conclusions, not taking anything away from Jackie or Ron, but the drama, it's kind of juicy. It's kind of interesting that, 20 plus years later, he could finally kind of feel comfortable and safe. Because, when you think about it, that kind of sucks. He got a chance of a lifetime to work on a Jackie Chan movie. And I, speaking generally, I like the stuff he did because, yes, he's doubled, but so is everybody else fighting. Everybody's doubled. So it's not just like it was his fault.
Okay, so here's the other elephant in the room. Not just with this movie, but just like in general with like 90s Jackie, which everyone still has this like weird perception. It's like, Jackie never needs stunt doubles. He always does his own stunts. Okay, so this is the 90s now, right? Okay, if we're talking about the 80s, it makes sense, all right? When he made Police Story, he was 31 years old. He's like prime physical health. He's battered himself, but he can still take the abuse, right? But as he gets older, that's not really the case. By the time he made this movie, he was 44. You can't do the same level of athleticism you can, or if you do, you're more likely to hurt yourself, and those injuries last a lot longer.
And you can, but you need to take into consideration he's our lead actor and he is our action director. So if he goes out of the picture, who's going to
exactly
the movie, who's going to lead the action? So there needs to be times when they are looking at a scene or they're looking at a fight scene, Jackie might say, okay, well, because this is going to require a lot more spinning or a lot more stuff, and the camera is, I want the camera here, let's just have a stuntman step in and do it because it'll just, save me the time or save me the energy.
Yeah. So I don't like this. I don't like it when people call out, it's like, oh, Jackie doesn't do his own stunts in the 90s when he was in his 40s. Like Jackie's another human. Of course he's phenomenal. He's a great on-screen martial artist. He's good at his craft, but he has physical limits, and I think that's like very evident on screen. Everything you said before is very true. Like, he runs the show. You can't have him out of commission. He can't run that risk. So like he'll do the things that he can do, and then he'll mitigate those risks so that the production can continue.
Yeah. And I was thinking, it's a shame that, well, maybe not a shame, but I get it from a marketing standpoint. He was, maybe not he himself was doing this, but he was getting marketed as he was doing everything himself, right? No stunt doubles, no wires, no CGI. Like, I remember hearing some of those things, or maybe that was Tony Jaa. I can't remember now. But anyway, it's a shame because we all know the term Jackie Chan stunt team. Like, the fans know that. So it's kind of a shame that he didn't start pivoting to Jackie Chan stunt team. And so we could, the general audience could understand, oh, okay, it's a big group effort. It's not just Jackie. Everybody is involved in doing it. So they will start to get a sense of understanding, needing a stunt double, needing wires for certain aspects. But I get it. Marketing machine, all that stuff. They need to sell DVDs, VHS.
That's exactly it. No, that's exactly it. This is the age before the internet was like, a mainstay in everyone's pocket. Even mainstream audiences don't follow stunt teams or action teams whatsoever. So it's only like folks like us who are like really into this. So yeah, like you would. You wouldn't even think about something like 8711 back in the day. So like to imagine like you would just picture like one person being like the poster boy of like what action would be. But like you're only as good as your stunt person is. Like it's you can't have a good action scene with just one person. But yeah, Jackie obviously needed stunt people to do some of the performances. And you can actually tell that when we actually go into the action segments. Like there are certain moments where like you don't. Like Ron didn't have to point it out. You can actually just watch the fight and you can see like, okay, that's clearly not Jackie. He's falling a little too hard. If Jackie did that during the production of the movie, his bones would shatter. Okay. Not saying 40-year-olds are like brittle, but like, once you get into your 40s, you have to be more careful with your body. So, and then obviously the other part of this movie is the stunt work, which I do like some of them. There's one in particular that everyone all remembers at the very end. But I don't know. It's weird. Like, I don't necessarily love all the stunts in this movie. I think no one's brought this up, but I think there's CGI to really like, or like some digital trickery to really like heighten some of the stunt work, and I don't know how to feel about that. I feel like that's a little bit deceitful. Did you catch that, Zero?
There's a few moments where I thought maybe. Which one are you thinking about?
I'm thinking of the chase scene when he's. Ooh, maybe we should save this for action segment. Maybe this. Well, we'll talk about it right now, real quickly. There's a chase scene where he's like doing a roll over the top of these buildings, and it's made to look like it's really tall.
There's that large gap between them, right?
Yeah. Yeah. We'll go into detail why we think so when we get to the action segment. But I don't know, Zero, is there anything else generally you want to talk about with this film?
No, I think we discussed a lot of the general action or general sentiments already. So if you want to listen to more detailed breakdown of the action, you should follow us on Patreon, because you could possibly recommend a movie for us to cover as well.
Yeah. Well said. I guess we'll talk about this more, and then we'll save more of the. Maybe we'll talk more about the movie as well during the action, because.
Well, that's what I was going to say. What people might not realize is it's not just an action breakdown. We actually flesh out the movie even more. We talk about spoilers that we don't want to discuss in the general section, and there's lots of hidden stuff in the Patreon version that is not just action. So.
But we do cover action as well.
Yes.
Yeah, everything you said. God, now when you go to the action segment, you'll hear exactly why we don't necessarily love the beginning portions of the film. So, from this point on, it's time for the action segment. Hey guys, thanks for listening to the podcast. We're at the point where we give our recommendations, but there's a whole wealth of audio you would be listening to here if you follow us on Patreon. There you can listen to the entire episode, including an exclusive action breakdown of the fights in the movie. And now on to our final thoughts.
And is that Who Am I?
That's Who Am I.
That's Who Am I. Okay. Great.
Yeah, the ending's weird. The story's terrible. Am I?
Well, I mean,
alone?
it's got an ending, right? It's not
does
like
it?
it's not. It doesn't just cut to a freeze frame
Oh.
amidst her spin kicking the bad guy, which might have been a better ending now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Because Jackie Chan's like, oh, I don't want this to get into the wrong hands, or my parents told me don't mess with the environment, so he fucks off with the disc.
No, we get something. I don't know. We get something not memorable at the end. Like, the ending's not memorable. Well, the whole movie's not very memorable. Yeah, of course. Like we mentioned the highlights of it because that's what we do. Because every martial arts movie has something. Or at least the good ones have at least the one or two fight scenes. And this movie has that. But boy, the rest of the movie is so forgettable. I when did I think I watched this like several times as a kid. And like I haven't watched it since, but I didn't remember anything from this film outside the final fight.
Watching this again was a brand new experience because I forgot everything. So when I was watching it, I was generally curious to the mystery about who he was, but then they never tell us who he is.
Yep.
But they do because he's Jackie Chan. They literally say he's Jackie Chan, and his name card where they show his picture is Jackie Chan. So they royally messed up with this movie. At least in that aspect. We know who you are.
Yes. Oh yeah, I get. Maybe we're on the same page already in regards to that. So, all right, recommendation time. Yeah, watch the fight scenes.
Yeah,
watch the fight scenes. Watch the final stunt. There are some action segments throughout the movie that are neat. They're not great. They're neat. I'm not a car person. Like I'm not really big into car stunts. I mean, I can sense when I see a good one, but for the most part, I'm not too keen on that. Like I don't have an eye for it the way that I do with fight scenes. So I mean, it's a no-brainer. Watch the final fight scene. Watch the final stunt. Those are awesome. Don't watch the movie. It's a given for me. Like, it's even if you did watch the movie, you'd be like, all right, I could be doing other things with my time. Like, I'm just waiting until I get to the end, anyways. Yeah, that's my general 2 cents. Zero.
Yeah, I agree. If you've never seen it, then watch it. That's all.
Oh, yeah.
That's all I could say. If you've seen it before, you do not need to rewatch it. The deleted scenes on the original version, him running up the tree, that's pretty awesome. I wish they somehow got that into the American cut, which cuts out some stuff, but it's not there. But you can see it online. Somebody put it up. That's awesome. That's just an awesome stunt. Him running away from a lion. So, but yeah, movie's extremely hard to recommend. Story-wise, not the best narrative, but they make up for that with a really kick-ass fight. It's like almost 8 minutes long. So maybe they realized during filming, like, oh shit, this is going nowhere. We need to we need to end on a high note. So speculations are, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Man, with all this controversy around this movie, I think at least we ended on a good note. I think regardless, the final fight still looks good. I know
that's great. The final fight still holds up. That's always a big concern when I go back and watch some of these older movies where I remembered liking the fight and then going back and dissecting it, realizing, oh no, I don't like this. Kind of like Gorgeous. Gorgeous was one that was disappointing to go back and watch because
you can see all the little holes in it. Yeah.
All the wire work kind of took me out of it. But this one, still great. Still a very, very good fight.
Yep, I agree.